Grand rising, grand evening, whatever time it is for you. So this message will specifically resonate with the starseeds and the light beings who were seated into the belly of the beast. Those who were targeted, trafficked, oppressed, stolen from by groups, organizations, conglomerates, familial ties that put you and or your children into dangerous situations where your livelihoods were at risk or threatened. I want to give you insight into why that experience may have happened. It's a question that I see and I read and I hear often. Why? You see, for this collective, this is a collective of individuals who grew up in extremely abusive, narcissistic, chaotic, and toxic environments. When you have a mind and a nervous system that grew up in that type of environment, it can make it really difficult for you to discern or recognize predators and danger. For this collective, unfortunately and fortunately for everyone else, it takes an extreme cataclysmic expression of the polarity that you grew up in order for you to activate, in order to shake you awake fully, in order to rip away the veil and awaken your inner sleeping giant. Nothing is coincidental, and all of the patterns, data, and truths that you subconsciously collected up until that point was very necessary in what you would be guided to do with it. In order to fully deconstruct and disempower evil, you have to gain a full understanding of it. You have to be drowned underneath it. You have to touch it at its core so that you can sever its roots. Pulling from my own experience, I grew up in a highly narcissistic criminal conglomerate of sorts. My cataclysmic event that fully activated me was when my children and I were targeted by a global religious nonprofit called MEI Ministries that is actually a global crime syndicate involved in trafficking, racketeering, money laundering, and the unaliving of financial motivated targets. I do have a video pinned on my page here on TikTok, if you are watching this on TikTok, going into a bit of detail of that experience. I believe that it's the second pinned video. I'm wearing a black sweater. In that video, I show a few receipts on how this organization I have absolutely no affiliation with had enterprise level monitoring over my device. They had enrolled my device in like a Google Workspace account through their organization as if I were enrolled as an employee or something. I also have some screenshots in that video showing the data analytics scans of my severely MDM infected phone due to the enterprise level monitoring that was placed on my phone by this organization. There are a few individuals who don't like that I use ChatGPT for my data analytics scans, and normally I would just ignore that. But I understand that we're all students and teachers in this earth school, and I'm not going to judge your judgment. But what I will share is that data and metadata are a few things that are irrefutable. It can't be wrong. It's not an opinion-based thing. If you use any AI technology that has the capability to analyze data, and the data analytics scans say that there is enterprise level monitoring on your device and that your device is severely MDM infected, then that is that. It's just fact. moving on. Although I was targeted by individuals who are part of this group, and I have strong feelings pertaining to the innocent and the vulnerable and those whose unintegrated wounds and shadows further perpetuate that trauma, abuse, and suffering, I am also aware that it was my own unintegrated wounds and shadows that allowed these types of energies to have access to my children and to myself. It's really important that we take responsibility for all versions of self, even the versions that were still living under a veil of your upbringing. That can and does affect discernment. When abuse has been normalized, you become really desensitized to certain things and certain red flags, and that makes it harder to see. That is why for a lot of us, for the collective I'm speaking to in this video, it took a cataclysmic event to fully activate you and bring you online and make you aware of what was around you, what surrounded you, and what was within you. But you want to know what else it did? It also created a force, you, that can't be reckoned with. When I say a lot of these groups find themselves in a very precarious situation and bind, I mean that with everything in me. When you push someone's psyche to the limits of what should be humanly possible, when you rip everything away from them in the physical, you are doing that to someone who was already born into the belly of the beast. We were already born into hell. Someone who can adapt, recognize patterns, someone who has only known survival. So when you rip everything away from these types of individuals, we were only left with ourselves. No distractions, which made our connection to source stronger than ever. And all of the fear and intimidation tactics, all of the torture, well, eventually we become desensitized to it. So now you're dealing with someone who is fearless, peaceful, calm, and tempered, even in the face of the most horrific crimes, trauma, and chaos. You see, the very things you people did to silence, oppress, and erase us, it actually just forged us into diamonds who cannot break, cannot be silenced, can't be blackmailed, can't be paid off, can't be corrupted or compromised. An unshakable force that has all of your information, your crimes, and your lies and secrets that you tried to bury us underneath. So for my collective of light beings and star seeds who receded into the belly of the beast and who lived to tell your truth, I want you to know that you are so powerful. And your very breath and existence, it is a threat to those who try to erase you and oppress you and silence you. That was your initiation. And now you hold all of the cards. I am sending you all so much love to the universe and beyond. Bye.